All right, my friends, we're moving on to running backs. This is where your drafts are totally muffed up, or this is where you win it. So let's focus up and let's get moving. All right, 3 running backs that will win you your best ball draft. Let's get after it. Number 1, yeah, my man Chase Edmonds. Now, what am I going to be using today? This is the Study Hub. You can find this at teamriseorfall.com. Here we are. I'm going to sort the team filter by Arizona, and I'm looking at Kenyon Drake, and he's gonzo, my friends. Bye-bye, Kenyon Drake. 58% snap rate, 615 snaps up for grabs, and is it going to fall to Chase Edmonds? Now, Arizona did acquire James Conner through free agency here, which means Conner's going to have a potential to take the carries and take the snaps and the touches that Kenyon Drake had last year, but not so fast. I truly think Chase Edmonds has a significant role to play, and if we see him get back his 47% snap rate from last year, that's his baseline, meaning you'll have 168 points in PPR leagues potentially waiting for you, but much more upside. Now, if we're looking at best ball, a player like Chase Edmonds is one of those players that can win you your league. James Conner has been fragile for years, and if he comes in at age 26 and he gets injured early, you have Chase Edmonds potentially taking over an RB1 role. Are there other backs on the roster that potentially take some time away from him? Maybe. We'll see. That is something that I want to see how the Cardinals are using the running backs throughout camp, and if they bring in anybody else, undrafted free agents, anything like that. But for now, Chase Edmonds is one of those guys I'm swinging for the fences with, because I think that if Edmonds ends up garnering some RB1 weeks, it's the type of production that can win you those weeks, sitting there waiting for you at a back-of-the-end draft selection. So, Chase Edmonds, massive upside, and I'm banking on the fragility of James Conner to get me there. Now, if you want to use our draft kit, get all of this access, use our quick pick sheets, and see one of these other players like Gus Edwards, who I'm about to talk about, you actually can use the promo code down below in the description section for our sponsor today, Monkey Knife Fight. If you use the promo code and the link below for Monkey Knife Fight, you actually earn yourself a free draft kit. You also get $20 to use at draftsharks.com. You get $10 to use on my website, teamriseorfall.com, and I give you a free month of Sparry. I give all 3 of those things away inside the draft kit itself. There's a lot of stuff here involved in the draft kit. You get it for free. Just use the promo code DONUTS and use the Monkey Knife Fight description link down below, and you get all the freebie stuff I just mentioned and much more that I don't have time to talk about. Now, I'm clicking on Baltimore and the filter button right here on the Study Hub, and I'm looking at the fact that Mark Ingram last year, his snap rate had kind of just disappeared anyways, down to a 23% snap rate. He only played 11 games. Actually was a healthy scratch a lot last year, and his role was gone. Gus Edwards basically took his role even inside the red zone, which is where Mark Ingram was supposed to excel, and he just did not. And we ended up seeing Gus Edwards garner 25 carries inside the 20 and 9 carries inside the 5. He had a 42% touch rate inside the 5-yard line and a 26.6% touch rate inside the 20. So Gus Edwards, if he is now also going to gobble up Mark Ingram's 10% share, you're looking at a guy who could have a third of the carries inside the red zone for the Baltimore Ravens, who ran the ball a ridiculous amount, only threw it close to 400 times last year with Lamar Jackson, which means if J.K. Dobbins goes down at all, you have an RB1 top 10 upside every single week running back in Gus Edwards. Similar to Chase Edmonds, who can do everything in between the 20s, Gus Edwards can do a lot in between the 20s, but excels inside the red zone, which is really where you're going to gobble up a lot of points in best ball. Anyways, you're looking for those touchdowns. So I love Gus Edwards in best ball formats this season. I love Chase Edmonds as well. In this last running back, I had a tough time choosing between Zach Moss and Damian Harris on my sleepers list. I went over to my risers list. I felt like these players were all similar, and it's hard to pick one. So I ended up going with Zach Moss because I'm a Buffalo Bills homer, and he did show up on the sleepers list and the risers list based on our models. These are a model that pumps this stuff out, and the names I just fill in So Zach Moss, why? What happened last year? Why am I on Zach Moss this year? Why do I think he can win you your best ball league? Well, the Bills so far have not gone out and brought in any other running back help. They did not draft anybody, and currently in free agency, we'll have to see what the Bills do. I don't foresee them bringing in anybody that can really compete with the youngins in Singletary and Moss. The Bills continue to move forward with the youth movement. So I think that a Singletary who started to lose snap rate to Zach Moss towards the end of the year. And if that continues, that trend continues, I can actually see Zach Moss garnering the lion's share of the snaps this year. Also would have the lion's share of the touches, which would be a good thing for the Bills' offense. I think that he is the hammer the ball in between the tackles type running back they need. They don't need a scat back, a speed guy like Devin Singletary. They need somebody that can really alleviate some of the burden off of Josh Allen and allow the Bills to run a little bit more play action. I think that Zach Moss has that upside. And I think if the floor is 100 points, you're okay with that from Zach Moss. If Singletary goes down with an injury this year, or we see Zach Moss switch roles and he gets nearly 60% of the snap rate, I think you have tons of upside. Now, Josh Allen is always going to be a red zone vulture, a goal line vulture, but even still, Zach Moss last year had the lion's share of carries and touches inside the red zone for the Buffalo Bills. Devin Singletary barely sniffed the red zone towards the end of the year. It was like the Zach Moss show. So these numbers are even heavily skewed over the last month or so of the season. 28 carries, 4 touchdowns, not too shabby. Had 8 carries inside the 5, scored 2 touchdowns. I think all of these numbers across the board for Zach Moss can go up. And I think that if he has the opportunity to end up being the switching roles here for Singletary and Moss and ends up getting 700-plus snaps, I think that you can see Zach Moss, end up with 170, 180 points in best ball leagues, but potential for over 200 and more, maybe even 10-plus touchdowns if Singletary goes down. You never want to root for these things, but you always have to be thinking about them when you're doing your best ball draft. So those are my 3 picks to win you your best ball leagues. This is very early in May, so make sure that you are checking our updated rankings. You're checking out our updated articles and videos and strategy guide, 32 teams report, 200 player notes and blurbs, all get updated throughout the offseason. Quick pick cheat sheets, of course, will get updated as news and teams adjust. And again, use the promo code DONUTS and the Monkey Knife Fight link down below, and you can get a free draft kit and hopefully end up using your promos to get access to DraftSharks.com, get access to teamriseorfall.com DFS, and get access to our Sparty Sports Betting. So check it out, and I'll see you on the inside, my friends. Take care.